To understand the fundamentals of human purpose, we have to look all the way back to the birth of society, somewhere between the Tigris and the Euphrates, approximately 6,000 years ago. Up to this point in history, humans, still in the Stone Age, not only differed physically to our modern selves, but also emotionally and societally. By this point, we were nothing more than hunter-gatherers who would reside in groups mostly consisting of immediate family. So what changed? How did we develop from just another species of hairless apes to one of the most dominant and intelligent species to ever roam this planet? Certainly, a large amount of the original Sumerian success can be attributed to their ideal fertile soil and warm climate, but what really set them apart was their ability to work with one another. For the first time in history, you saw masses of people become educated, contribute to an economy, and adopt a collective language. These examples of cooperation were able to affect humanity for thousands of years to come. And some of you may doubt the fact that Sumerians' ideals still impact your life today. But to you I ask, does your clock use a base 24 system? Does your car have wheels? Or do the books you read have letters? The ancient Sumerians were able to develop all of these ideas because of their unique cooperative ability. To further explore the power of cooperation, we can look at the novel, The Secret Life of Bees. In this text, we follow a young southern girl named Lily through her adventure to discover more about her mother. During this time, she finds herself in the presence of the Boatwright sisters. Through her experiences with these girls, Lily learns all about the complexities of life and family. These three girls, although flawed, are very successful and purpose-driven because of their ability to rely on one another and cooperate. From their beekeeping business to their emotional support system, these girls were able to grow with one another because of their cooperation. Cooperation is a trait in humanity that has shaped us most to this day and continues to be a tool for greater success. Cooperation helps guide us all by giving us purpose, uniting us through identity, and allowing us to help one another with the understanding that they would help us back likewise. Without cooperation, we lack the traits that make us human.
Human beings are what can be called social animals. Our social nature derives from our ability to communicate and has propelled and kept the evolution of the human species. In our lives today, communication is everywhere and it is the foundational pillar of all societies. We have been enabled to share information and ideas in some of the most unique mannerisms, far beyond the capabilities of any other species on planet Earth. Since the dawn of humanity, the ability to communicate has seen many shapes and forms. Early humans primarily relied on simple gestures and noises to convey basic emotions and needs. These simplistic ways of communicating laid the groundwork for the evolution of humans, which would lead to much more advanced and complex interactions. The gradual development of humans' vocals and ability to produce sounds was crucial in framing the early languages that went on to shape human societies. The birth of language was monumental in human evolution and is the reason why we are here today. Language allows humans to express abstract concepts, share knowledge, and importantly, reveal intent, as stated during Thom Scott Phillips' TED Talk.
Communication is all about intentions. And the key point is that we don't just have intent, we reveal our intentions.
Through communication, humans reveal what they want and how they want it done, thus allowing for compliance in the formation of groups or relationships. These groups and relationships are what build society and keep it together through people communicating needs and common interests. Without it, society would crumble and humanity would simply cease to exist. Take, for example, the novel Lord of the Flies. In William Golding's 1954 novel, Lord of the Flies, the vitality of communication is displayed when a group of British boys are stranded on an island without the presence of adulthood. Upon initial arrival after plane wreckage, the boys find themselves guided to one another by the sound of a shell known as the conch.
Whoever holds the conch gets to speak. That's the rule.
Is this like assembly, sir?
Yeah. Except anybody who wants to speak gets to.
But not before they get the conch.
Right.
The conch plays a unifying role throughout the novel, and it is a direct source of communication in humanity. With the conscious ability to hold meetings and communicate to the boys, civilization at first seems possible on the island. Ralph seemingly is able to bring balance to the island since, like he just stated, no boy can be denied the right to speak with the conch in hand. However, as the story progresses, the differences of all the boys that were at first faint become more apparent. The island divides into two groups, one led by Ralph and Piggy representing civilization and communication to the conch, and the other led by Jack representing savagery and no civilization. As a result, through the encounters between the two groups, the stark differences between the civility of communication and the lack thereof within savagery become apparent. The gradual division between these two groups illustrates how a lack of dialogue fosters power struggles and collapse. The boys' failure to communicate and the breakdown of communication represents the disintegration of society as the island descends into chaos. When Piggy and the conch are consequently destroyed at the same time by the savages, the point of no return is marked by the complete destruction and end of any societal structure or civilization because of the end of communication. The novel ultimately highlights communication as a foundational pillar to civilization and a necessary aspect of humanity. It is quite simple. If humans lose the ability to communicate, a chaotic inclination towards savagery ensues. In the end, it is our ability to communicate that holds us together, driving our evolution and enriching our lives. It not only serves as the basis to civilization, but also fosters social interaction, cultural development, and collaboration. Through communication, we share our ideas, find common ground, create communities, and build vital relationships. Our ability to communicate distinguishes us from all other species on Earth, and it is what makes us human. Thank you.
Before I expand on the topic of individuality, I would like to ask a question. What is your favorite movie of all time? My personal choice has changed many times throughout the years, but as of today, my favorite has to be Beautiful Boy, starring Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet. For those who do not know, Beautiful Boy is about the relationship between a father, David Sheff, and his son, Nick Sheff, and how the son's addiction to methamphetamine affects both of them. This film is one of the most heart-wrenching pieces of media that I have ever seen. Throughout the movie, the main characters struggle to balance between communication, cooperation, and individuality. The movie shows us as David desperately tries to communicate with his son and tries his utmost hardest to get Nick to cooperate. Later in the movie, perhaps the hardest scene to watch is when David realizes that he has done everything he can for his son and that he needs to leave Nick completely alone.
Call your sponsor.
I want to talk to my sponsor now. I want to talk to you.
Get help. I love you.
No.
And I hope that you get your life together.
I love you too. I love you.
This moment illustrates the delicate balance between individuality, cooperation, and communication. David, having exhausted all efforts to help Nick through dialogue and joint effort, painfully concludes he must take a step back, giving Nick complete freedom from parental intervention. This decision highlights the complex interaction between individual autonomy and collective support. David's withdrawal recognizes Nick's need to take responsibility for his own life and choices, respecting Nick's individuality and acknowledging that his recovery must be self-driven. Conversely, this decision also underscores a breakdown in communication and cooperation. By stopping his efforts, David surrenders to the idea that further help might only amplify Nick's dependency and hinder his personal growth. David's withdrawal displays tough love, shifting the balance towards individuality by ending his potentially enabling actions. However, it also reflects the tragic reality that sometimes, despite the best intentions, recovery may need a painful letting go. This scene captures the harsh truth that balancing support with allowing someone to exercise their individuality is incredibly challenging, and sometimes stepping back becomes the most viable, albeit heartbreaking option. In Eugene Ionesco's Rhinoceros, the importance of individuality is highlighted. In Rhinoceros, a town's inhabitants turn into, as the name implies, rhinoceroses, transitioning from a small minority to a large majority. By the end, only Berenger and his partner Daisy remain. They struggle with loneliness and the challenge of maintaining their identities. Eventually, Daisy succumbs to the pressure and likely transforms into a rhinoceros, leaving Berenger alone. When I first read this story, a particular quote stood out to me. It is obvious that one must not always drift blindly behind events, and that it's a good thing to maintain one's individuality. However, one must make allowances for things, asserting one's own difference to be sure, but yet remaining akin to one's fellows. This quote embodies the struggle of balancing individualism with communication and cooperation. It highlights the tension between maintaining one's unique identity and adapting to societal norms. The quote displays the challenge of asserting personal differences while still fostering a sense of belonging and connection with others. This delicate balance is essential for both personal integrity and social harmony. High school presents its own set of challenges for those who defy societal norms. Many students fear expressing themselves uniquely, worrying about being ostracized or judged by friends, peers, and even family. The societal expectation to conform can be overwhelming, and those who cannot or choose not to conform face painful repercussions. Lack of acceptance can lead to severe emotional and psychological distress, resulting in feelings of isolation, depression, and anxiety. This pressure can push individuals to suppress their true selves, leading to a loss of personal identity and self-worth. The struggle to balance individuality with societal expectations is a universal challenge, whether in extreme cases like rhinoceros transformations or in everyday high school experiences. The pressure to conform stifles individuality. Recognizing and addressing these pressures is essential for creating environments where individuality is celebrated and people can express their true selves without fear of judgment or retribution. There is one last small scene from Beautiful Boy that I would like to share. In the final moments of the movie, the two characters embrace accepting the struggles that they have faced and will face in the future, because they have each other. Although my topic is individuality, this scene highlights the fact that cooperation and communication are equally as important.